Part 53. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 521. Chapter 521. When Ye King Han had to work overtime for a meeting, everyone was a little scared. After all, generally speaking, if Ye King Han worked overtime, it meant that he would turn on the air conditioner. What everyone is most afraid of is that their president turns on the air conditioner. This air conditioner is just like the base glacier, very freezing. Everyone put the materials they had prepared on the table in fear, and then waited for Ye King Han to come in. Don't be too nervous. The president should be in a good mood today. You have done your best. The delicate water comforted everyone. How do you know the president is in a good mood today? I ordered a cup of milk tea for the president, and he took it. After saying this, Shui Xianro felt herself blushing, because the president never took her milk tea, but today she took it, which shows that the president treats her still somewhat interesting. She believed that she could definitely take Feng Ling's place. Everyone nodded thoughtfully. Shui Xianro was right to say so. After all, the CEO at least wouldn't eat anyone's milk tea or take away. It's just that if the CEO took the milk tea, I'm afraid the CEO's wife would be jealous. After all, it was Shui Xianro who handed it to her. Everyone already knew what Shui Xianro meant to the CEO. Only the president doesn't know. Okay, the meeting is about to start, stop your petty thoughts. Fui glanced at everyone, then looked at Shui Xianro sarcastically, and whispered, "Why are you happy here? I really feel that my milk tea is for you. Brother CEO, do you want to eat? What are you doing together?" Listening to Fuyu's words, Shui Xianro suddenly had a very bad premonition about the alien species. As expected, this hunch came true after seeing the person coming. Because she saw Feng Ling holding a cup of milk tea in her hand and drinking it happily. She completely recognized that the milk tea was the one she ordered for Ye King Han. You see, your CEO brother doesn't care about you at all. It's ridiculous that you actually think that he is in a good mood today because of you. Fui rolled his eyes, then pulled out his chair and sat down. No, impossible, impossible. How did that happen? Impossible, impossible. Shui Xianro sat alone and shook her head. Feng Ling looked over and felt that this girl was not very smart. Okay, what do you look like this? Do you want to be kicked out by Ye King Han? I don't want to. Shui Xianro immediately adjusted herself, and then looked at Ye King Han as if nothing had happened. Okay, imagine what I told you during the day. There are some things that if you don't work hard, you will never be able to do it in your life. Do you understand? I understand. In the end, Shui Xianro gave in. She looked at Fuyu and said, "What should I do?" "What a good boy. Okay, come to my house this morning, I will tell you how to do it. After today, you will be a brand new Shui Xianro, do you understand?" Fragrant and soft soothing voice. Shui Xianro nodded, but she didn't see the fragrant smile, which was so scary and gloomy. If she saw it, she would definitely not agree to Fuyu again, but now she had already agreed and wanted to become Ye King Han's person. Over there, Ye King Han took a look and saw that everyone was already here. He waved his hand and said, "Let's get started." "Yes, CEO, it's like this. According to our investigation, Miss Feng Ling's statement is indeed correct. So, according to our comprehensive analysis, our conclusion is exactly the same as that of Miss Feng Ling. Miss Feng Ling is so amazing." End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 522. Chapter 522. Not bad, Miss Feng Ling is indeed amazing. Shui Xianro was very unhappy with the compliments from everyone. She recalled the scene that Fuyu showed her that day. Back to that day, Shui Xianro closed her eyes, but felt that her soul seemed to have entered another scene. That was an antique scene. In the depths of the woods, a girl fell to the ground without any blood. Probably because it had just rained, the ground was very wet. The girl's skirt was stained with mud, and it didn't look very good. She was lying on the ground, squinting at the figure not far away, and smiled softly. "Fen Ling, why are you laughing?" Ye Yu looked at the woman in front of him with disgust. The person leaning on his shoulder was Fen Ling's good sister Feng Shuang. Good sister? She is probably the only one in the world who thinks that her sister knows everything. Fen Ling looked at the two of them, and there was an inexplicable feeling of sourness and swelling in her eyes. At the same time, in another place, there was a girl who looked exactly like Fen Ling, but there was no expression on her face. She was just reading a book expressionlessly. Suddenly, she felt a splitting headache. The girl frowned. What's going on? When she woke up again, Fen Ling saw a girl wearing ancient clothes lying on the ground. Her appearance could be said to be directly copied and pasted from her own. Fen Ling was completely confused now when she heard the woman in front of her say, "Yeah, you know the prerequisites for my promise to you in the first place. No matter what you do or say outside, it doesn't matter to me. The world can scold me or laugh at me, but these things can be treated as invisible. But now, you don't mean what you say. What are you doing for?" Half a year ago, the news that Fen Ling, the young princess of Yuchen Kingdom, liked Ye Yu spread throughout the palace as soon as it was known that it was night time. From then on, Fen Ling turned against Ye Yu, and there were endless rumors about Fen Ling's bad conduct as a princess of a country. The world's impression of Fen Ling is gradually declining, but they don't know that Fen Ling did all this just for his father, Emperor Feng Tian. About half a year ago, Feng Tian suddenly felt short of breath. The entire hospital tried their best to help Feng Tian recover. Fen Ling secretly asked the imperial doctor in private. The imperial doctor said that if the situation continues, it may only last for half a year at most. It was Ye Yu who told Fen Ling that she knew Ling 11, but she asked Fen Ling to tell everyone that she liked him, and then he would take her to see Ling 11. Lingzi is a miracle doctor. It is rumored among the people that he can resurrect the dead and turn their flesh into white bones. Only then did Fen Ling agree to Ye Yu. But seeing that half a year was approaching and Feng Tian's condition was getting worse day by day, Fen Ling approached Ye Yu again. Unexpectedly, what we faced was the coming of death. TCH, if it weren't for the bet I made with those people half a year ago, I wouldn't have wanted you to be born as two of us together. After all, you're just old enough to make do. If you were released, you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. How can I meet such an expert as Lingzi? Only a brainless person like you would believe it." Ye Yu shook his legs carelessly, not feeling that there was anything wrong in what he did. Fen Ling's chest felt tight because of his anger, and immediately after, a large mouthful of blood spurted out from the girl's mouth. She gasped and looked at the man and woman helplessly. "Okay, very good. Ye Yu, and you, Feng Shuang, you wait. Even if I become a ghost, I will crawl on your body in the middle of the night bed, your blood." End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 523. Chapter 523. If you want to be a ghost so much, then you should die as soon as possible. Feng Shuang kicked the girl impatiently. Watching helplessly, the body rolled down the cliff and completely disappeared. Fen Ling stood nearby, watching all this indifferently. Indifferent? Lingling, don't we save her? Why should we save him? Fen Ling looked at Space Ling Lingui, who was also a soul body next to him, with confusion. Lingui looked at Fen Ling silently, and then sighed deeply. Sometimes, he really hopes that Fen Ling can be a little bit more popular, just a little bit. Actually, Shui Xianro knew that there were still things that she had not finished reading, but after reading this, she could be sure that Fu had not deceived her. Fenling, she has what she has never had. So. Shui Xianro looked at Fenling, her eyes flickering slightly. If this is really the case, then Fu is right, she cannot surpass Fenling. So, if she can possess Fenling's thing, does it also mean that she can also have endless life and be reborn again and again? In this case, she can also be regarded as immortal in another sense. Shui Xianro's eyes flashed, and suddenly she had a very strong desire for Fenling's system. At present, Fenling still doesn't know Shui Xianro's plan. Recently, Zero Orbit is closing its eyes and recuperating, because Zero Orbit tells them that if they want to be reborn, they have to pay a lot, and so does it. Therefore, it needs to store enough energy now to ensure that it can proceed smoothly when that day comes. By the way, a digression, because Zero Orbit later discovered that its energy storage would be safe for more months, so a few people decided to postpone the start until the last 2 days. So, now Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding have returned to the Demon Palace. She was forcibly taken to Jin Yuding's room by Jin Yuding. "What are you doing?" Lin Qinruo looked at Jin Yuding, her eyes evasive, but she didn't notice this evasion herself. "There's less than half a month left, and I don't want to waste any more time." "What do you mean?" "Lin Qinruo, I want you to be with me, as my girlfriend, half a month later, no matter life or death, I won't regret it." Jin Yuding looked at Lin Qinruo like. Lin Qinruo's heart stopped for a moment, then she looked up at Jin Yuding. "Are you confessing to me?" "Lin Qinruo, I like you." "You?" Lin Qinruo looked at Jin Yuding blankly, and for a moment, he forgot how to react. She just looked at. After a long time, she said, "Why, I am obviously very bad." Obviously, it hurt him. "If love can really be explained, I won't wait until now to confess to you, silly girl." Jin Yuding flicked her forehead, and then said, "You have to understand that if we don't do many things now, it will be too late, silly girl." Jin Yuding, I don't know if I treat you." "Then try it." "I don't know. It means that you have some feelings for me, but you are not sure." "Then, how about you use this half-month to try it out?" "Well." Lin Qinruo thought for a while and finally nodded in agreement. She has lived for so long and finally met someone she likes. Although it may really only be 15 days, but, as Jin Yuding said, if she finally finds her true love, then, to be honest, she did not regret her trip here at all. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 524. Chapter 524. In Yes Group, everyone actually chose to buy the house in the north after discussion. Shui Xianro was so angry that she almost lost her breath. "Okay, don't be angry. What do you think? If you are really angry, you won't think that you really have any important status in her eyes. She doesn't care whether you die or not, so, you know, you are just a piece of dust, a grain of dust." Fu hit her mercilessly. "Okay, stop talking. I know what you mean. Don't you just want me to agree?" "Yes, I agree. You can tell me what to do next." Shui Xianro looked at Fu and said. Shui Xianro curled her lips with Fu and felt that this smile was special for a newcomer. However, she has no choice now. She can't do anything except believe in fragrance. "Well, next, I will give you a fake system. You only need to find Fenling next Sunday and integrate with her system at the critical moment. I will guide you then." If Fenling were here, she would find that the time Fu mentioned is the time they agreed with Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding next week. Shui Xianro tapped her t-shirt. "Okay, I understand, I'm leaving." "Well, I wish you good luck," Fu said leisurely. After Shui Xianro left, Fu returned to his original appearance. Tisk, 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 Kids nowadays are really silly and sweet. They believe everything they say. What, you are not trying to achieve your goal? Behind him, a man in black appeared. Fui raised his eyebrows. So what, I've already said it? I'm doing this for my own future. You have to know that in the future, if these two people exist, we will all die. They all came from the future, so they knew very well what would happen if Feng Ling and Ye Qinghan went to their place, so they found Shui Xianro. With Shui Xianro, she didn't believe it. Two people still have so much ability to stay alive. The man who looked at him with a fragrant gaze also felt his hair standing on end. You are really becoming more and more vicious, a cruel woman. I have no choice. Why, do you have a better way? No, the man rolled his eyes, and then prepared to leave. I still have something to do, so I'll leave first. You should pay attention to your own side. After all, you also know that those two people are not fuel-efficient lamps. Of course I know. Fui rolled his eyes, then waved his hand. Okay, you can go. Yeah, after the man left, Fui returned to her room. How should I put it? She was originally responsible for the leadership of the development of human civilization in the future. However, it was these two people who ruined all her plans. Their brains were simply inhuman. With them, they reached a level that no one could. She has a high status, so there is nothing she can do about it. If these two people are good, she won't really do it, right? Fui smiled and said, Feng Ling, Ye Qinghan, you forced me to do this. Who made you all so excellent? Usually, excellent people always bear more than ordinary people. Fui said with a smile. At this time, Feng Ling and Ye Qinghan still don't know what will happen in the future, because, to be honest, the time is coming. Tomorrow is the time agreed with Lin Qinruo and the others. Now they need to review it again to make everything clear. It can proceed smoothly. Zero orbit, are you sure you can support it tomorrow? Well, confirmed, as long as no one disturbs us, our success rate should be 80%. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 525. Chapter 525. Okay, Feng Ling nodded, and then went to sleep after reviewing Ye Qinghan again. In the second article, the four people came to their secret base and started all this. Because it could be done in the open air, they found a grassy area surrounded by walls and were all their people, so it's the safest place. Okay, Qinruo, Jin Yuding, are you ready? Feng Ling asked, looking at the two people. The two people looked at each other and then nodded. Lingling, we are all ready and can start. Lin Qinruo said with a smile. Obviously, in the past half-month, the relationship between Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding has increased rapidly. Two people have confirmed their feelings for each other and are waiting for this moment. Lingling, it doesn't matter if we fail. In these 15 days, we have been very happy. We have done many things that we never dared to think about. I feel that in these 15 days, we have lived a better life than before. It's so colorful. These 15 days can be regarded as our whole life. It's worth our time to come here. Okay, I understand what you mean, but we will do our best to ensure your 100% safety. Feng Ling looked at Lin Qinruo and said. Zero track, let's get started. Okay, Orbit Zero appeared and drew a circle around the two people. From now on, please sit in this circle and don't move. No matter what happens or if you have any unaccustomed feeling, don't move. Otherwise, everything will be in vain. Also, I want to explain it in advance again, after activating this formation, your hearts must be connected at all times, otherwise, your souls will be shattered in an instant. No one can help you, you can only rely on yourself, do you understand? Okay, we're clear, let's get started. Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding looked at each other, then walked to the circle together, sat down and closed their eyes. Lingui glanced at Fen Ling, saw her nodding, and then started the formation with Yi one by one. When Zero Orbit and one by one were executing the formation, Fen Ling and Ye Qinghan were guarding them. However, they never expected that a person would actually run in at this time. Shui Xianro, how did you get in? Fen Ling looked at Shui Xianro warily and asked. Haha, it's not important how I got in, what's important is that you must give me your system today. Shui Xianro knew that Ye Qinghan was there, but she was already crazy. Compared to Ye Qinghan, immortality made her even more crazy. Fen Ling, I must take away the secret from you today. You don't deserve to have such good things. Only me, only I can have such things. By the way, Qinghan, when I get her system, we will fly away together. After that, I will help you find a way to make you live as immortal as possible. There will definitely be a way. If there is a system in this world, there may be a second one. 2. When I find them, I can be with you forever. Shui Xianro looked at Ye Qinghan and said. Ye Qinghan looked at Shui Xianro with disgust, as if looking at a mentally retarded person. Do you know what you are talking about? Of course I know. I have never been so clear-headed for a moment. I have always wanted to know by Fen Ling, but this woman is so annoying. She is always by your side. A woman like her is not worthy at all. I am the only one. Only I am worthy of being by your side. Just wait, I will be with you soon, Ye Qinghan, I am the one. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 526. Chapter 526. Ye Qinghan looked at Shui Xianro with disgust and said, crazy. You are really crazy. If you were not crazy, how could you say such a thing? I'm not crazy. I've always been sober. That's why I know how true my heart is to you. Ye Qinghan, I am the only one who loves you wholeheartedly. Why don't you believe me? Shui Xianro screamed at the top of her lungs. However, neither Fen Ling nor Ye Qinghan cared about her. What do you want to do? Fen Ling discovered from the beginning that Shui Xianro was not surprised by what was happening to them. It seemed that she had already predicted it, which made Fen Ling feel that something was not right. Generally speaking, this is not the reaction that normal people should have when seeing such a scene. The water is delicate and soft, but it is not like this. I want your system. Shui Xianro didn't hide it, because Fuyu had already told her the method, so she was not afraid of Fen Ling and Ye Qinghan at all now. Come on, give me your system. How can a person like you be worthy of such a highly intelligent system? Shui Xianro said as she walked towards Fen Ling and Ye Qinghan. Fen Ling narrowed his eyes, and then said, no way, I won't give you the zero track. Haha, if you say you won't give it to me, do you think I won't take it myself? Shui Xianro said and rushed towards Fen Ling and Ye Qinghan. Fen Ling reacted directly and struck Shui Xianro with a blow. Ye Qinghan also took advantage of the situation and kicked Shui Xianro. Shui Xianro felt a sharp pain in her stomach, and then she was thrown to the ground. You. Shui Xianro was about to speak when she suddenly saw people appearing from behind Fen Ling and Ye Qinghan. She was so shocked that she couldn't say anything. That's not. Shui Xianro opened her mouth. Fen Ling and Ye Qinghan reacted faster than Shui Xianro. When Fuyu appeared, they turned around. Who are you? Fuyu. Ye Qinghan's eyes were cold and very good. He originally thought that Fuyu was just a spy sent by the Great Elder. Although he might have bad intentions, it would not have any impact on their system. Unexpectedly, Fuyu actually knew system. It seems that Fuyu and Shui Xianro are on the same team, but Fuyu is obviously much smarter than Shui Xianro. Hello, Yeking Han Fuyu smiled, and then gave a frightening smile, but, it's too late now, because they will eventually become my things. By the way, thank you, Shui Xianro, for helping me attract my attention. Fuyu said with a smile. It was at this time that Shui Xianro realized that she had been taken advantage of from the beginning to the end. Furthermore, what did Fuyu just say? You. Could it be that there is not only Feng Ling's system but also Yeking Han's system? Shui Xianro looked over suddenly and found that Feng Ling and Yeking Han were making an action at the same time. Although Shui Xianro didn't understand the meaning of that action, it represented that her guess just now was correct. Fuyu, you lied to me. Keek, do you know? But this is also for the future. After all, this world cannot always be like this. Time goes by and we develop too slowly. But in the future, who made these two people want to hinder me? As for the road, there's nothing I can do about it. What do you think? After all, no one wants someone blocking their way. The fragrance gradually cooled down. Feng Ling, Yeking Han, today, you must die. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 527. Chapter 527. Feng Ling and Yeking Han were a little confused at first, but they were both very smart and quickly realized what they were doing. Fragrance should be talking about things in the future. They have a system. In other words, there may be people who are reborn in this world or who come from the future world, and it is possible for them to get it. As for the fragrance, it should be the latter. We don't know what you are talking about, but we will not give up Zero Orbit and Yi to you. Not to mention that they had already concluded a covenant with the two of them. Even if they hadn't, they had been together for so long, and they couldn't have just given it to them. Furthermore, now, the lives of Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding are in their hands. If fragrance is allowed to affect Ling Wei and Yi, then the consequences are not something they can bear. Fuyu, no matter what you do today, I will not let you affect Qinruo and Jin Yuding. Feng Ling and Yeking Han stood in front of Fuyu. Fuyu looked at the two people and squinted his eyes. It seems that these two people are very important to you. However, unfortunately, their encirclement has been invaded by my little guy just now. Maybe you can talk to my little guy, let's chat. After Fuyu finished speaking, Feng Ling immediately looked behind him and saw that many poisonous insects were about to crawl onto Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding's bodies. Feng Ling immediately rushed into the circle and said, Zero track, Yi, it's me. There's something going on. Please let me in. Yes. Good Ling Ling. Zero track and Yi nodded, and then continued to immerse themselves in Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding. After Feng Ling entered, he either trampled or squeezed the bugs to death with his bare hands. Yeking Han wanted to go in, but was blocked by Fuyu. Yeking Han, your opponent is me. I won't let you go. Yeking Han narrowed his eyes. Although he was very anxious, he could only fight Fuyu first. He found that Fuyu's skills were almost the same as his. It would take some effort to really solve Fuyu's problem. Damn it! I hope Ling Ling can support it. Over there, Feng Ling was still bitten, but she forced herself to drive away all the poisonous insects, and then took a bottle of the only medicine she had on her body to suppress it. To completely remove it, she needed Zero track, but now, she has no way to go to space, because Zero Orbit cannot be separated. Feng Ling gritted her teeth and then looked at Yeking Han. Over there, Yeking Han and Fuyu were having a heated fight. Feng Ling looked at Fuyu and Shui Xianro, who was lying on the ground opposite with an expression of disbelief, and pursed her lips. Just put Shui Xianro in it for a while. After Shui Xianro fell into coma, Feng Ling joined the battlefield between the two. With Feng Ling joining in, Yeking Han was obviously much more relaxed. Fuyu, no matter what happens to you in the future, it is not allowed to hurt our friends now. Feng Ling secretly placed a silver needle on Fuyu's neck. Because she was being beaten, Fuyu herself didn't notice it. By the time she noticed it, her legs and feet were already numb and she couldn't stand up. "What did you do to me? I'm just paralyzing you temporarily." Feng Ling curled her lips, then looked at her and said, "Fuyu, you know what will happen to you next. Fuyu, I know you were photographed by the Great Elder, and I haven't done anything to you because you didn't do anything you dare not do, but today." Ye King Han's eyes were sharp. "Fuyu, you are totally wrong. Wrong. I don't regret it, just kill me." "Impossible, we will make you live in pain for the rest of your life." End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 528. Chapter 528. After finishing handling Fuyu, Feng Ling suddenly fainted. At this time, the fusion of Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding was finally completed. Zero Orbit fell from the sky and disappeared directly. Looking at Orbit Zero one by one, there was a moment of panic. "Master, Orbit Zero. I know, it should be because of Lingling. We took Lingling to the nearest hospital." Ye King Han immediately picked up Feng Ling, got into his car, and took Feng Ling to the nearest hospital. "Who are Feng Ling's family members?" "In the hospital," the doctor said. Ye King Han hurried over and said. The doctor nodded, and then said, "Sir, your wife was infected with the most poisonous snake venom. She should have died at that time, but I don't know why, something seemed to hinder this. The poison moves throughout the body. So your wife is just in a coma now. However, although we just injected her with serum, she still didn't wake up for some reason. This is the first time in the world that we have seen this kind of situation, so, we can't tell you guaranteed, your wife she can wake up. Perhaps, she can only be like this in this life." Ye King Han's face paled for a moment, then nodded, "Okay, I know, thank you, but if it's possible, I hope you can do your best to save her. I can afford it no matter how much money you have. This is natural, we will arrange the most authoritative team." "Master, what happened to my master? Oh my God, little ancestor, what's wrong with little ancestor? Lingling, let me see it quickly." At the hospital that day, no one knew what happened. They only knew that many authoritative people came for some reason. Later, news came out that these authorities were all because of a girl. Everyone did not know who this girl was. They only knew that these authorities had been studying this girl for 3 whole years. 3 years later. "Lingling, she will definitely get better, right?" Lin Qinruo looked at the girl lying on the hospital bed, her eyes a little disappointed. That day, she should have been happy, but when she woke up, she got the news that Feng Ling was bitten by a poisonous tongue in order to protect them and keep them alive, and she was in a coma for 3 years. In the past 3 years, she has watched Ye King Han change from a CEO to a slovenly man. She understood very well, because without Feng Ling, Ye King Han had no motivation to support her. She knows the power of love very well, and she also knows the bond between Feng Ling and Ye King Han. Because of this, she is very sad. That's why you don't know what to do. Yes, it will be fine. If Feng Ling doesn't wake up for a day, we and Ye King Han will stay with her for a day, eh? Well, okay. Lin Qinruo nodded. In the ward, Ye King Han held Feng Ling's hand and looked at the girl's delicate face. In the past 3 years, due to Ye King Han's careful care, Feng Ling not only did not lose weight, but also gained some weight, and became even more cute and attractive. "Lingling, it's time for you to wake up. It's been 3 years and tomorrow is your birthday. Let me feed you a bite of cake, Lingling, okay? Lingling, if you wake up this time, I will never let you fight alone again. Lingling, please, please wake up, please. Wake up and sing happy birthday to me. I also want to take you to many places. We haven't gone on our honeymoon yet. Ling Ling, wake up, okay. The man looked at the girl with deep affection in his eyes. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 529. Chapter 529. In a place that the man didn't see, the girl's fingers moved. At night, Yeking Han came to the ward with a small cake made by himself. The color is blue, which is Feng Ling's favorite color. He gently sat next to Feng Ling, looked at the girl, cut a small piece of cake for the girl and placed it next to the girl. Ling, there is only 1 minute left for you. It's your birthday, although you haven't woken up yet, but it doesn't matter, we still have a long time, we still have a lifetime, and I can wait for you forever. Whenever you have had enough sleep, wake up. However, Ling, don't let me wait too long, because I don't know when I will die. I think, before I die, I can take one look at you, just one look at you, to let me know that you can be good and take good care of yourself. Owner. Is there no news about Zero Orbit yet? Yeking Han asked Yi Yufan. One by one nodded, well, no, but master, Zero Track's signs of life are getting stronger and stronger. I feel that it will revive soon, so after Zero Track recovers, maybe Sister Ling can do it too. Wake up, master, you can do it. One by one, Yeking Han lay on the man's body distressedly. In the past 3 years, no one knew what Yeking Han had become because of Feng Ling. However, it could see it clearly, so no one wanted Feng Ling more than it did. Wake up, because the master and Sister Feng Ling are one. If Sister Feng Ling is not good, the master will not be good either. Well, I know, I won't give up. Yeking Han grabbed the girl's hand and said, I will definitely wait until she wakes up. Before that, I will definitely not die. Owner. Feng Ling felt that she had been sleeping for a long time and had been in the dark, but she was not alone, because she seemed to be able to hear a familiar voice tirelessly speaking to herself. However, when Feng Ling wanted to respond, she found that she seemed unable to speak. Later, she discovered a circle of light, and in this circle of light, she saw the Zero Orbit. Zero Orbit told her that she was now in a semi-separated state from her body, which was called a coma in the outside world. If you want to wake up, you can only wait for the recovery of Zero Orbit. However, because Zero Orbit has sent too much energy to Lin Qinruo and Jin Yuding, it currently has no ability to revive Feng Ling. During these days, Feng Ling practiced with Lingui every time. She is the master of Zero Track, so if Zero Track gives her some cultivation methods, half of the spiritual power she absorbs can be given to Zero Track. Finally, today, has the energy absorbed by Zero Orbit and Feng Ling been enough? Ling, are you ready? Well, come on. Feng Ling hooked her lips, and then Lingui put his little hand and Feng Ling's hand together. A white light came from their clasped hands, gradually enlarging and then enlarging. Know how to swallow all the darkness. Succeeded, I finally came out. Lingui jumped happily when he saw the familiar space. Over there, Feng Ling finally moved his eyelids. Master. My sister's eyelids are moving. My sister's eyelids are moving. On the other side, one by one jumped out excitedly, oh my god. Orbit Zero is awake. Master, is my sister about to wake up? Ling, Yeking Han grabbed Feng Ling's hand and looked at her nervously. It wasn't until Feng Ling really opened her eyes that Yeking Han finally felt relieved. Feng Ling, wake up. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 530. Chapter 530. As soon as Feng Ling woke up, she felt herself being held by a warm embrace. She hooked her lips at an angle where no one could see her, then reached out and patted Ye King Han's back. Ye King Han, I'm here, yes, I'm here to keep the appointment. Once upon a time, she promised Ye King Han that after settling these matters, she would live a good life with him, but unexpectedly, it ended abruptly on that day. In the past 3 years, not only has she been working hard, but Ye King Han has also been working hard. Ye King Han, I know every word you say and everything you do, and I remember them all clearly. Although I have no choice but to control my body, but can hear the movement outside. Ye King Han, thank you for not giving up on me. I will never give up on you, never, Ling Ling, you are my life. If you die, I will go with you. In the next reincarnation, I will definitely find you. Fen Ling smiled, her smile was very beautiful, like the sun that had just risen. Ye King Han, you know, you look really handsome now. However, I also think so. If there is really no way for me to wake up, then in the next reincarnation, I and Zero Orbit will definitely find you and Yi. For her and Ye King Han, the world is just a carrier for them to live. No matter what their identities are, it cannot hinder their love for each other. In this world, even if they forget everything, they are still together, right? But now, she remembered it, completely and clearly. Ye King Han, it's really nice to have you here, really. What? Ling Ling woke up. Over there, Lin Qinruo lost his composure after getting the news and pestered Jin Yuding to come see Fen Ling. Go and see, Ling Ling wakes up, I must be the first woman to see her besides Ye King Han. Jin Yuding. But, why does this sentence sound so wrong? But of course, if his girlfriend wants to go, he must agree. So, Jin Yuding drove Lin Qinruo to the hospital as soon as possible. Yeah, I brought Qinruo over to see Fen Ling. Well, talk to them carefully. Ye King Han gave them 3 spaces. When the 3 of us were together, Lin Qinruo threw herself directly beside Fen Ling, bursting into tears. Oh woo woo, Ling Ling, I miss you so much. You finally woke up. If you don't wake up, I don't know how I can survive. Aren't you living well now, silly girl? Fen Ling smiled helplessly, then rubbed Lin Qinruo's head. I have worried you for the past 3 years, but you don't have to worry now. I know my own body well. As long as I rest for a while, there will be no problem. Yeah, Lin Qinruo nodded like a chicken pecking at rice, but her tears still couldn't stop the car. Fen Ling was a little helpless and looked at Jin Yuding, but Jin Yuding also looked like there was nothing he could do. Don't look at me. In the past 3 years, she didn't even get married to me because she was waiting for you. She said she wouldn't get married if you didn't wake up. So now, he is unfortunately still Lin Qinruo's boyfriend. Fen Ling has a head full of black lines, this silly girl really is. Are you and your boyfriend ready to get married now? Lin Qinruo blushed and nodded, I just want you to watch me get married. You are the most important person to me. Jin Yuding. He feels that he shouldn't be in this room. He feels like a light bulb now. Where is he? What is he doing? Why does he appear here? End of this chapter.